besties. And we're back, and we're back, and we're back. Yeah. Okay, so trigger warning. We're gonna be talking about DV and VB, which is like verbal. VA. Domestic violence and verbal abuse. Yes, DV and VA. Really with parents and how like toxic parents are, not 100%, but just a little warning. It might be a little essay talk up in there. It depends on where this conversation goes, because I don't know, like I said in the last episode, I got ADHD. Okay, so y'all bear with me. But anywho, back on the topic, my parents, they're Generation X. Yeah, that speaks for himself. If you are a healed millennial or a healed Gen Zer, you know that the Gen Xers, not all but some, very toxic. Now, I love my parents, don't get me wrong. Very grateful. But at the end of the day, yeah, my actual dad is a narcissist, which a lot of people like to throw that around like, like narcissist, everybody a narcissist. But no, some people aren't narcissists. Some people are just very bad people. Like, you can't blame that on a mental health illness. You're just a bad person. And you don't care about being a bad person. And maybe that makes you a psychopath. Maybe that makes you a sociopath, whatever the case. But at the end of the day, not everybody is a narcissist just because you want them to be a narcissist. On the other hand, growing up as a kid, like, a lot of people would say, like, oh, Allie, you had it good. Like, your mom and dad was in your life and da-da-da. My father was very, very physical and verbally abusive. Like, when I say, y'all, the amount of times that the cops have been called just by neighbors being concerned for my health, like my well-being, like my life, is ridiculous. I survived, though, and my dad, the last time he ever physically harmed me, I was 16 years old. I'm not proud of it, but, like, you go through what you go through in life, you live and you learn, okay? I'm healing from the situation. I'm 24. I'm not 100% healed. There's some days where I look in the mirror and be like, why my dad didn't love me, why he didn't tell me I was pretty, da-da-da. But at the end of the day, it's like, when you're growing up with parents who also had parents who did not love them, respect them, or treat them a proper way, or they put their needs before their children, sometimes you get the bottom of the barrel when it comes to your parents. And sometimes, hey, that's just how life is. Like, I'm a mom. At the end of the day, my son, he's going to have his, notions about me, like, when he get older. Hopefully nothing too crazy, like, at all, but I don't know, because I'm a parent based off of what I saw my parents do and what I'm like, I don't want to be like this, and the things that I've read in books as far as parenting, and the patience that I have and the maturity that I have, because I had my son when I was 21. So based off of all of that, that is how I'll be doing my parenting. But I've seen worse. Like, sometimes there are parents that are, like, just very, very mean and cruel to their kids, and it's not because they specifically have this mental thing where they're like, no, I'm always right, I'm the best parent, da 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 da. Excuse me. It's genuinely because they just don't know how, they just don't care how to treat people. For instance, like, my mom, there was just some things that she put before her children that she should not have put before her children. And she can't talk to us about it. Like, when we try to talk to her about it, we try to tell her what happened, like, she immediately goes into being a victim. Like, oh, I was such a good, I'm not that terrible of a parent, da da da. And it's like, Mom, we're not saying you're a terrible parent. We're just letting you know these are the things that you did to hurt us. These are the things that you could have done differently. And this is how we want you to start acting from now on. And if you can't accept that, then what is the point of having this conversation? There is no point. And for me, with my father, if you have a narcissistic parent, partner, anybody in your life, and you've tried to have a conversation with them to get them to own up to it, especially if they do substance abuse, it's like talking to a brick wall that's drunk, if that makes sense. If you know, you know. But yeah, it's a little difficult dealing with toxic parents, because sometimes you never know what is going to trigger them to cause them to make you toxic. To make them toxic towards you. Like, for all my life, I've been told like, oh, you like your dad, you like your dad. But my dad has always said, oh, you like your mom, you like your mom. And for me, I felt like the reason why my parents sometimes either neglected me or talked to me a certain way or treated me a certain way is because I reminded them of something or someone, whether it was themselves, their parents, the ex significant other, whatever the case, that made them hate themselves or who hated them and caused harm to them, which made them kind of resent me in a way. And I didn't ask to be here. Nobody really asked to be here. Maybe we did in heaven and we were like, yeah, because I guess spiritually somewhere on TikTok I've seen and on Google where you pick your own parents spiritually. I don't know, okay, because I don't remember that. I am grateful for my parents. You only get one set of bio parents, so you just cherish them and you love them. I love my parents from a distance. I'm not saying that I go into contact with my mother. I do go into contact with my dad, though, because dealing with a narcissist, I'm not going to lie, it's like, it's very toxic. It's very weird. My dad has always had in his brain that, hold on, y'all. God, face and headphones. My dad has always had it in his brain because he hates women, but he likes, to use women for things. If you get the gist, he hates women. You can't tell him he hates women because he'll deny that until the day he croaks. But he hates women based off of how he treated me and various women in his life. He was a womanizer, and because he was a womanizer, I'm his oldest girl, and I'm the daughter who basically helped him throughout his whole entire life. It was hard for him, especially because I look like his mother, who he resents, which is a woman, who he resents because, and all of his aunties and stuff like that, because of the things that they've done to him based off of the stories that he's told me, which I understand, but it's like, I'm not them, I didn't do it to you, so yeah. And knowing me as a Pisces, like, when people try to control me, my dad's a Leo, by the way, when people try to control me, it doesn't really go well because I'm not the type to be controlled. Like, I'm submissive to my significant other, I'm respectful to my elders, but I'm not the person that you can just, you feel me? Like, this ain't one of them type of situations. No, thank you. But at the end of the day, me and him always had like not a power struggle, but he just really could not like fathom the fact that he couldn't beat me into submission or he couldn't verbally abuse me into submission because I'm just too strong of a person. And when you're dealing with toxic parents, you have to be strong within yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to own yourself and know that just because your parents are like evil towards you or they manipulated you before or they have this like notion in their head that you are theirs and that you belong to them, once you become your own person and you start to think about the things you do like, you don't like, the things you do want, you don't want, excuse me, and the things that make you happy, you realize that they no longer have that grasp over you, and that is okay. Even if they make you feel bad about it, even if, not saying this applies to me, but it may apply to some others, even if your other family members try to make you feel bad about it or your siblings try to make you feel bad about it, bump all them people, because at the end of the day, if you own yourself when you have toxic parents and you move around from them, whether that means you don't talk to them no more, whether that means you talk to them whenever you F around and feel like it, that's what you got to do to protect yourself. And I don't want to say protect your peace because peace gets messed up regardless of where you at and what you got going on. You can pray, you can meditate, all that, but the world, the devil, the energies that's around you, there's going to be something that's trying to disrupt your peace. So it's not going to always be just like, oh, I got rid of my toxic parents, oh, my parents are no longer in my life, my peace is going to be forever. No, but I'm not saying that there won't be some type of peace. You're going to grieve them too, even though they're alive. Even though they're still here, you're going to grieve your parents when you go no contact with them, or if you cut them off, or if you like give them distance and space, because even though they might be toxic, that's all you really knew for a very long time in your life. And even though you know that they're bad for you, or you know that you don't want to be around them that much or want to talk to them that much, it's okay to miss them. It's okay to want to hit them back up. But you do that according to how you can mentally and physically handle it. Now, y'all, I know it was a bomb conversation. We was getting in there, but my 10 minutes is almost up. So I'm going to leave you with this notion. Make sure that whatever decision you make, You make it based off of how you feel and about how you know yourself. Your parents will always be your parents. You only get one set of them, so deal with them according to what makes you happy and what makes you comfortable. Allie out.